G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR and welcome to the Round 15 review. Hope you had a cracker of a week so far. Well, the boys, they're all done and dusted. They're behind us now. Wow, what a relief. What carnage it was for some of us over the last month. I know me personally, all my best laid trade plans for the boys went completely out the window for one reason or another. So, well, I suppose all in all, it was pretty successful given the fact I started outside the top 10k and I've finished now 8,640. So, a lot of green arrows there, but I really wanted to be pushing for at least the top 5k. But I suppose, given the fact I'm in a better position, that's all good. This week, I will be finalising my side, along with hopefully getting that extra 23rd type premium that can cover for all lines. I'll show you what I'm going to do there after I show you what the team's looking like. But look, weekend started off really well for me. Ended up going to Marvel to see the Lions defeat the Saints. Caught up with the two longest serving members of my channel, Jono and Causa. Shout out to you two legends. Made a little vlog, so I will get that up in the next couple of days. But yeah, great to see you two blokes. Also Troy, great to catch up with you, mate, as well. Another bloke who just bumped into, Brisbane supporter, said he loved the channel. So good on you, mate. Appreciate the support, and great to have a Lions win. Condolences, Jono and Causa. You should have jumped on the Lions bandwagon, mate. You went for the Sainers and unfortunately couldn't quite get there in the end, but had a great night there. But unfortunately after that, I'm on holidays now. The body just completely gave up, I think. Crook as a dog at the moment, so I think you just get to that stage as a teacher, you crawl to the holidays, and once you're there, the body goes, right, time to relax, and then you start to get really buggered. So, yeah, hopefully I'll be on the mend in the next couple of days. But let's get into this, guys. Let's see how the team's going. I think I've mentioned everything. 1898, 8,640. So, yeah, not ideal, but okay. I've got 7 trades here, so I'm going to use a boost this week and complete the side, extra player for cover with 4 in the bank. I think that's in an okay type position anyway. So, as I said, guys, hope that you're well. Let's see how the team is actually looking. Alrighty, here we are. So 47,700 remaining in the bank with 7 trades left, 2 boosts. I'm not going to use both of them, but I will use one this week. Trades for last week, spewing. So out went Ford, Cincotta, and Johnson. Johnson, ouch, last week scored a 30-odd, subbed out. I was a little bit worried there, thought he's not really going to make the coin that I wanted him to make, so I'll get him out early in order to make a couple of moves this week, so that was unfortunate. In came Marich, who, well, was it even worth trading him in? I needed to go someone really cheap, so hopefully he just keeps his spot and manages to get a 40-odd if I really need him. I don't think that I'll need him with my plans going forward anyway, unless there's some sort of major injury carnage. The other bloke that came in was Winhager. So was it Dev Rob, Winhager, Sheldrick, even all the way down to an Elijah Hewitt? Well, in the end, it came down to Sheldrick or Winhager for me, but Sheldrick's time on ground last week really put me off. So I ended up going with Windy, thought got the better role, possibly better job security with Callum Mills coming into the side as well, but yeah, not good at all. Didn't play a great game. I don't know what happened with his time on ground in the last quarter either. That was terrible. But I think Ross actually mentioned his name in his presser and said that he didn't play the best that he's ever seen, basically. So does that mean that he loses his spot? I'm not too sure. So that one did hurt, particularly given the fact that I got Johnson out. But I did need the money in order to make another move. So the other bloke I got in was actually Darcy Cameron, who you'll be able to see down here. So all in all, happy that I got Cameron in. Disappointed to let go of Johnson. Cincotta could possibly be good cover, and I did lose that link as well from my defense to my midfield. So not overly happy, but trades that I thought I had to make anyway. So let's see here. So let's go through the side first of all, and then we'll take you through what the final side's going to actually look like and what my trades are going to be. So Dacos with a 132, phenomenal. We've all got him. Benny Keys didn't do the best job on him, but I don't think he was playing that really tight sort of a tag, and Keys managed to also score really well himself. So Dacos, fantastic, but unless we have him as a captain or vice captain each week, we really don't care what he scores because it is what it is. We've all got him. Stuart with a 111. Some nice intercepts really saved his score, I think, this week. But again, Mr. Reliable, safe as houses. One that you just really want in your side. Jordan Dawson, 149. This was just a phenomenal game. Was it the second quarter? Was it like 4 or 5 tackles, 14 touches, something ridiculous like that? He absolutely dominated. And I tell you what, this should have been a 170 because he should have got a free kick, slotted that goal for a Crows win. Oh, man. Poor old Crows, a little bit frustrated, but there was another free kick to Murphy, wasn't there, that got missed. Not the best sort of game umpiring wise, I don't think. So, yeah, I was admittedly spewing as a Dawson owner, and Adelaide unlucky twice against the Pies, but they're just one of those sides, the Pies, where you just basically know that they're going to come through with a dub. They're a phenomenal side, and you just can't knock them at this stage. You just cannot knock them, and premiership favourites along with Port for a good reason, I think. And hopefully my Lions can come up and really contend with those two, but I still think there's a bit of a gap at the moment. So, yeah, well done to the Pies, bad luck to the Crom. But Dawson, phenomenal game from him, absolutely phenomenal. Jake Lloyd, 83. This is really frustrating when you got blokes like Ridley, Ryan, Sinclair, all scoring much better than him. I don't know what I was thinking. This was one of those panic trades that I was talking about in the last couple of weeks, and I just was not thinking clearly with it. How I ended up with the Seagull on my side, I'm not too sure. But look, it's not the worst pick. I still think he'd be, an okay D5 to D6 type player. Having him at D4 hurts a little bit, but with my future plans anyway, I don't think it'll hurt as much. Will Day, man, last couple of weeks, talk about some bounce back games. Spent some time in the middle, spent some time down back. Just a really nice mix for him. The pressure seems off a little bit in regards to tags and opposition attention. So a 141. I wasn't expecting anything like this. I was expecting hopefully some low hundreds from here to there, maybe a floor at an 85 type thing. But if he can continue on with this role, at least for the next week or two while Sicily's out, then I think that'd be really beneficial for not only his season average, but particularly that 3-round average, which will get him up in coin. Players or coaches that have traded him out will really start to hurt, I think. In saying that, I don't think he's going to be a player that can hurt you too much, but yeah, I'm absolutely wrapped that I kept this bloke. This is the talent that I've seen in him. This is a talent we all know he produces and possesses, but yeah, he's just had time to shine the last couple of weeks. A bit of a change of roles really helped him there. So awesome, Will Day. Weddle, 51. So this was a little bit disappointing. I wanted more from him, but he's going to go for me this week. And at the end of the day, he's done his job really, really well. So can't complain with Weddle. Sheasley Constable didn't play. Bond didn't play. Laird, 125. Really solid score from him. He was probably going to be my backup captain if I didn't go Dunkley. Just didn't have the balls to go Errol Goulden. Possibly as a vice, but I thought with Dunkley in his current form, it'd be pretty crazy not to go there. I did take that 122, as you can see, but Rory was going to be my backup there. Zerrett with a 126, again, fantastic. You just cannot complain with these type scores. Neil with a 114, that was all good. Still, I'm going to call this a bounce back game. I think it was his second or third quarter, had like 5 quick touches, 4 tackles there as well. I think most of those touches were contested, then just spent a lot of time on the bench. So if he had kept going for that quarter, he could have been on a 110 plus score. But the fact he got to a 97 after we've been seeing 50s, 60s, and he just passed the eye test for me as well. A little bit less strapping, which I noticed as a bit of a bonus there. So hopefully there's some better signs going forward. I won't say there's some great signs going forward for the Jack Steele pick, but at M8, I don't think it's the worst, but I suppose that you always want a little bit more, don't you? Ashcroft, this was a little bit disappointing, only the 62, but hopefully back at the Gabba, he'll start to give us some better scores. Unfortunately, I think I might let go of him this week. My plan originally was to keep him as my cover, but that's changed, I think, at this stage. We'll play around with a few different scenarios, but he's probably gone for me, and I hate that because I really wanted to keep him. Windy, as I said, really poor game from him. CBAs are actually down. Played a few different roles, played on the wing at some stage, then was tagging Neil, but just not a great game from him, and mentioned, as I said, by Ross. Ouch, don't know if he's going to keep his spot. Roberts, obviously nothing there, and the other boys there didn't play. Gorn with a 92, just a terrible, terrible selection. I'd love either an English, a Rowan, or a Wits there, but I don't think I'll have the luxury. Look, I could probably if I wanted to, but I'd probably rather just hold on to the 4 trades just in case rather than use a couple to upgrade Gorn. It's possible though. We'll see how I go. Briggsy didn't play, and obviously Madden is a loop. And then Dunks, really solid for 122. Time on ground, I think it was in the third quarter, was really, really poor. So at half time, 70 plus. We were thinking another 140, hopefully 150, but wasn't to be. And I was pretty happy to just take that score this week. Butters didn't play. He was my captain. Took advantage of that Dunkley score. When we said took advantage, well, I could have gone someone like an Errol and it would have been much better, but wasn't that just a domination? I feel for West Coast at the moment. They are just, it's absolutely shambolic. Absolutely shambolic. And I've heard them compared, this is a Fitzroy type situation. I remember the Lions, this was very much a financial situation. The Eagles, they're not in a financial situation. Dire stuff on field, but off field with the money they've got, they'll be fine. They'll be fine, I guarantee you. But Errol, phenomenal game from him. Just, wish I had had him in the loop somehow. Darcy Cameron brought in a really solid 107. So if he can go 107 for the rest of the year, I'll be quite happy with that. That's all good. And best of all, he provides ruck cover. That's what we need, because durability is not a thing that we associate with the big boys. And even this year, we've seen most of them go down for at least a week or two. Humphrey, super disappointing. I needed more from him, particularly this week. I needed more from him, but he was just in that forward pocket. Flanders, and this is another thing that really frustrated me this week. Look at Flanders. He came in, scored 100. Bruin, with his 3-5 round average, I think he got a 90 plus this week. Jordan Ridley is absolutely smashing it. Johnson, who I just traded out after a 30 odd. If I go back to my starting team, these blokes are now starting to fire, so that's super, super frustrating. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Can't get too worried about it now. And I bought Marichin as well. Yeah, it was more for the price there. Hope they won't need him too often, but a 16. Yeah, in a bye week when I only had 18 players this week, 34s from Humphrey when he's averaging much more than that. Ashcroft, I wanted more. Windy just came off an 80 plus type score. Yeah, bit frustrating. So as I said, when I saw that green arrow, it was good, but I was expecting a little bit more from some of these players. But it is what it is at the end of the day. So let's get my best team on, and I'll go through my most likely trades for this week. So Roberts, Toronto, Windy goes off, Tom Green, Big Kizza, good to have him back this week, the big man. Rosie comes on, and Humphrey. All right, that's it. So we've got Dacos, Stewart, Dawson, Lloyd, Day, and Sheasel. They'll be my defence. They'll be my back six for the rest of the year. I'm going to get rid of Weddle most likely this week. Bont, Taranto, Laird, Zerrett, Neal, Green, Steele, Ashcroft with Winhager, Rouston, and Roberts there. So I really need to upgrade Ashcroft here. Gawn and Briggs. Gawn I don't love. Big Kizzer I do love. They'll be there for the rest of the season at this stage. And then Dunkley, Butters, who's a nice sort of pod to have there. Rosie, Goulden, Cogs, Cameron, and then Humphrey and Marriage. So I really want to upgrade this spot here. And the issue is with Weddle going out, I won't have anyone to really cover in defence. So at this stage, my coverage is Humphrey here, Windhager here, and Weddle here. But keep me in mind that Ashcroft is not a premium, and I do need to upgrade him. So it's boost time. It is boost time this week. So yeah, I think I might have activated it there. Cool. So at this stage, out is going to come Josh Weddle. Out goes Ashy, which kills me because I want to keep on to this man. I think he's going to go off against West Coast as well. Just expecting a huge game from him. And I really did want to loop Ashcroft with Steele as well, but won't be doing that. And out goes Humphrey. So I'll have almost 1.2 mil here. And I've got a few different options. So at this stage, what I'm looking to do is get a big boy in the midfield here. I want to get someone here that's going to be able to cover a couple of multiple lines. And then what I'm going to look to do down here is actually get another non-playing player as a bit of a loophole. You may think I'm a little bit crazy with my other lack of cover, but with the other bloke that I'll get in here, I think that it really makes sense. So I'm actually going to go all the way down here, and I'm going to filter to the forward line. Yep, I've got a slot there. And we're actually going to go by lowest price. And the bloke I'm going to look to get in is a DPP player, plays for West Coast as well, who do have a lot of those later games. And it's Mr. Tyrell. And he's going to go on the back line, is he? All right, so I'm going to get him there. So he's obviously a defensive forward option. So the other bloke I'm going to look to get in now is actually going to be a defender. And it's going to be my man, Harry Himmelberg. So all of a sudden, I'm now going to have cover for my defensive line and my back line as well. And that leaves me with basically 700k in the bank, and I can bring in any midfielder of my choice. So we'll go by highest price, and we'll just go average here. So I can basically take my pick. Originally, the plan was always to go Clary. I may still do it, but is he even going to play this week? The whole situation seems dodgy, doesn't it? I'm not going to get into it now. I've had lots of DMs about it, lots of chats with people about it, but I just don't know if I'm comfortable bringing Clary. The other two options I've got here, next in line, the cement bag Christian Petracca and Libba, who I absolutely love. Libba's a real pod, 8.6%, Track 23.3, and Oliver now all the way down to 22.2. We'll keep on going down, but they're really the three that I've got in mind. So you've got Jelly there, who I would not touch with a 10-foot pole. Same as Trelaw. Sarong I've liked all year, but if I've got the choice between Sarong and then your Libbers, your Petracca, I probably think they're that next peg up on a little bit of a different level, but I really do rate him as a player. If I went him 558, I'd still have, 150 odd in the bank, and I could go someone even better than a Himmelberg, for example, or just leave that in the bank with 4 trades and then maybe look to upgrade someone like a Steele. I could possibly do that, but you keep on going down, and then you got your Chera, your McRae, your Andersons. Brayshaw is another player that I really like. You've got your Parrish, what did he get, 92? He was actually looking pretty good early on the game. Titch, only 85. He's had a really solid season, though, nothing fantastic. I can't wait for a Took. Luke Parker's a really, really nice pod, but now you're paying 576k all over him, the sword play pod. Well done to Janeth as well. Didn't bring him in, but he gave him a big shout when no one else was really mentioning him at the time. And then you're just getting really dodgy down here, aren't you? So it really does come down to one of these three options for me. Now, what we love about Petracca in particular is that run during the SuperCoach finals. He plays 3 out of those 4 teams that he scored really, really well against, and we've seen those ceiling scores this year. I think from memory that might be Hawthorn, is it West Coast, Carlton, or it might be even North and Carlton. I'm not too sure, but he's got a really nice run to end the season, and he likes to bully those type of teams. So he really stands out for me. Oliver, I've just got too many concerns. Even if he does come in this week, is he going to be a little bit rusty? Knowing the great man is just going to come in and absolutely smash it. He was always the one. But Petracca's just been that good as well. He's been super solid. And Libba, man, he's just had such an underrated season. And he's probably the one that I would bring in because of that ownership, 8.6%. But the thing with Libba as well, I've got to look at the other players that have got on my side. And I see big Marcus Bontempelli there. So if I bring Libba in, terrific player, I think he's going to average really well to end the season. But I'm limiting my captaincy options here because I've got 2, I'd call them uber premium dogs, and I can only select one to have in my loop. If I bring in either an Oliver or a Track, then all of a sudden I've got another option there because I obviously can't go both of the dogs there. Bringing a Melbourne player in, that allows me to maybe loop a Bont with a Track or an Oliver. And that's something that I really like, and I think that's something important going on and looking at your future side is what sort of captaincy options do you really have, because a good captain score can get you 1,000 plus in the ranks in just the 1 week. So that's probably something that I'm really taking into account as well. So if I didn't have someone like a Bont, I would definitely get Libba in because I love him as a pod. So it's going to be out of the 2 Melbourne boys, and it's going to be Christian Petracca at this stage. So I'm going to complete those trades there. So it's going to be Weddle, Ashcroft and Humphrey. All done their jobs really, really well. Have been important players for my side. A little bit disappointing last week though. And in comes a non-playing player that's going to link in here with Harry Himmelberg, as well as an ultra premium in Christian Petracca. So we'll confirm those trades, and then I'll show you what the final side's actually looking like here. So I wonder what's going to happen. Can I optimize? Optimizing. Beautiful. All right, so if you look at the final side here, so I'll have 44,300 remaining. I do have a boost left in the bank if I really want it, but I don't think I will. And I've got the 4 trades left as well. So we've got Dacos, Stewart, Dawson, Lloyd, Day, Sheasel, and then you've got Himmelberg here as well. So I was a little bit worried originally when I was looking to keep Ashcroft here as that cover, that I wasn't really going to have anyone to cover that defensive line. I did think at the same time though that I was only going to use 2 trades, wasn't even going to use that boost and have 5, and that way if I had a defensive injury I could just use a trade and it wouldn't worry me too much, because at 4 at the moment with 9 rounds left, I've got close to 1 injury trade for every 2 rounds, so I'm pretty comfortable with that spot at the moment. Lots of people have 0 to 2, even 3. So I think I'm in a pretty good position there, particularly the fact I've got Himmelberg here. Then you look in the midfield, Bond, I bought in Track this week, so I bought in that real uber premium, which is really nice. Laird, fantastic. Merritt, I'm really happy with. Butters, who's going to be a really important player, particularly with that DPP. I've got Neil, Tom Green. So up to this stage with Neil, I'm really happy. Green is okay, I can live with that, and Steele I'm not really happy with here. So this is a bit of a concern here. Obviously, Day and Sheasel aren't fantastic. I'd love to have a Sinclair, even a Ridley, your Ryan. Probably one of those 3 or all those 3 would be ideal, but having Himmelberg there, being able to loop for that best score in most weeks, I think will be good for me. Then into the ruck, so I'm certainly missing one of those big 3 that I mentioned before, but really happy with Big Kizza there. Having Madden there is really handy as that loop. And then the forward line, I'm really, really happy with this. You've got Dunks, Taranto, Rosie, Goulden, Cogs, and Decam, along with loop player here, and Marriage, who hopefully I won't need week upon week. So loop-wise, what do we look to do? So with Himmelberg here, let's just say, for example, I get a Rosé injury. So Rosé gets injured. It's really easy. Himmelberg will just come in and he'll look to cover there. I've also got Windhager, if need be. Let's just say that a midfielder goes down. So Jack Steele goes down. Having Roberts here with Butters also is really handy. So if Jack Steele goes down, let's just say Cogs comes on here for either a Windhager, he can come up. Cogs will then cover here. I bring Himmelberg up, Windhager off. That's easy there. So having Himmelberg here, he not only covers my defensive line here and my forward line here with the DPP, but he also covers the midfield, because when he does come forward here, then one of these DPPs simply goes into the midfield. So I think he's going to be a really handy player for my side going forwards in regards to cover. And having those 4 trades, if a Bont goes down, I'm not trying to curse him here if a Track goes down, but a Dacos, whoever, I'll be comfortable just to go bang, there's a trade, no worries. And look, it's not a heap to have in the bank, but 44,000, that's okay. It's better than nothing, isn't it? So let's just round it up to 45k. That'll be handy for me. Even if one of these lower players go down, like a Day, like a Sheasel, at least I'll be able to get close to the 500k mark for a Sheasel, and maybe the 550k mark in another week for a Will Day. So that's how the team is pretty much going to end, guys. So it's not ideal. What are my goals for the rest of the season? Well, obviously to get towards that top 5k. If I manage to get there within the next month, keep on tracking, keep on going. With those 4 trades, I'm pretty much just going to leave them in the bank for now. If not, you've got like a Steele that you could look to upgrade here. In my forward line, I'm really happy here. There's no one else that I'd really want. Maybe McRae I'm missing that you'd like. I could even bring Butters back in and look to get one of those Uber Primos, like your Olivers, like your Libbers. Certainly could look to do something like that. But with the rookies that I've got here, I don't know if I'll be able to make enough cash to be able to do so. But yeah, Steele's a bit of a concern, these 2 blokes here. But at the end of the day, I think the team is okay. It's far from uber premium on all lines, and I'm missing a couple of important players here. But with those 4 trades and that boost, if absolute carnage occurs, I think that I'm looking safe-ish enough for now. So going forward, I'll obviously do the round reviews week upon week, show you how the team's actually looking, but I'm not looking to make trades anytime soon. And if I do have to, it's not a good thing, because I'm obviously facing a fair bit of carnage. So that's it for now, guys. Stay tuned for that blog that I'll give out, put out for the Saints-Lions game. We'll have the SuperCoach Sword Play Potty this week. I have the stock market as well. The stock market won't be as relevant moving forward. And as usual, with the comments for my round review and comments for the SuperCoach Sword Play Potty, if we don't get to them for the mailbag section, I'll do a separate video. And given the fact of my holidays, may have a bit of extra time, I'll do a separate Q&A video this week as well. So that's it for now, guys. All the best. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.